Hello and welcome to the Video Marketing Show with me, Julie Pell, from the video marketing community, and my special guest today is Tom Breeze, who will be talking about how to advertise on YouTube and get more clients. Now, I've known Tom for a number of years now, and he certainly knows how to create video advertising that sells. He's been working with Andy Harrington, a public speaking expert, and he's increased his lead generation by a whopping 2,900%. And also, Gideon Chelwick has seen his conversions rise by 446%. He works with both smaller businesses and top names and brands UK and worldwide. And today he'll be sharing what every business owner ought to know about video advertising. So, welcome to the Video Marketing Show, Tom. Over to you. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, Julie, and yes, a very warm welcome. Thank you very much. And yeah, I look forward to today's kind of call and going through a lot of stuff. And I should really say as well, I mean, as I go through all of this, if there's any questions that pop up, whoever's watching this hangout, fill in below. I think also afterwards as well, I think this will go up as a YouTube video. So anyways, watching this, if you want to leave comments or questions, etc., I'll make sure I tag myself into this, and so when they get asked, I'll make sure I'm there and answer them. But yeah, let's talk about YouTube advertising then, because I really do think it is one of the most exciting areas for any business to at least get into and look at how to start using properly. I'm always kind of keeping ahead of the field in terms of like what's going on in any industry in terms of lead generation and getting clients and cost per acquisition, etc. I've always looked at different ways of doing it, and one really effective way used to be a lot of SEO work. And I think that the SEO was changed quite a bit, but there's many different ways in which you can use video to bring in new customers at very cost-effective prices. And what I want to do today is share with you a few kind of case studies that I've been working on recently, from like about 9 months ago to now as well, and also work out who really video advertising is for. So as I go through today, as I say, if there's any questions, let me know. But I'm going to swap to my slide. Comfortable doing that. But let's go into this. So viewability is the advertising side of the business. Let me just make sure I've shared my slides with you. Let me just grab this one here. Okay, so Julie, do you want to let me know that you can make sure that you can see the slides for me?
Yep, I can see that. Okay.
Good. Okay. Perfect.
Can I just say I have got a problem with my comment tracker. I haven't got it working. I've done something wrong, so I'm sorry I can't see any comments. So I'm trying to see it on something else. So I do apologise.
Okay. Cool. Well, if anyone's watching it and they need to leave comments or questions, then maybe just go to the page, the Google Plus page that Julie has, and maybe ask questions there. And that might be an easy way to communicate as well if the comment tracker is not working right now. So let's talk about video advertising, and I want to show you how to really succeed with video ads and get it working for you. And I don't want to kind of give you fluff and give you sale. I'm much more interested today just give you information that you can use in your business straight away. But the reason why I like advertising in a business is because it really is the most effective way of having a reliable and automatic lead generation system in a business. So you can imagine, can't you, that for years and years there's been advertising. There's always been advertising, because as soon as there's a bit of space and people are visiting that space, there's always going to be advertising. So it's here, it's always been here, and it's here to stay as well. So if you can master an advertising strategy for your business, it's not only reliable in terms of it will constantly bring in new in business if you get it right, but also it's normally automatic, so it's not something that you have to, like a bit like content marketing where you're constantly pushing stuff out, or social media marketing, for example. It's always difficult to create that new content and get it out there and hope that you're going to get ranked or get your website ranked, or SEO. That's always tough work, and you're kind of investing up front to try and to get the results in 4 to 5 months' time. Instead, with advertising, you literally can turn it on, and the next day you can start having leads coming into your business. Now, if you can get those leads to work and close on your business as well, and so you can generate those leads, get people signing up to your website, closing those leads into business. That's what I want to talk about today, and how to do that specifically, and keep the cost at a ridiculously low level, so that anyone can get into this and test it for their business. Now, it is kind of one of those areas that I think that video advertising right now is a very new area, so it's perfect to get into, and I think there's going to be a window of around about 2 years where you can really make this work, so now's the time to jump into it. But as we all know, there's a huge audience on YouTube. If you've got a business where people are naturally on YouTube as well, that is a real good head start. So say, for example, I was just talking to somebody today who has an app. They've just developed an app that they're developing, and it's all around the football industry. And it's a no-brainer to be on YouTube immediately, because there's so many people looking up videos around football. People are immediately on there, and you can get your ads in front of those people at exactly the right time. When they're looking for that information, when they're interested in that information, you can put your message there. And I'll talk about this in a little bit, but it's all about, really, any advertising campaign should just be about targeting the right people, so getting in front of the right people at the right time and having the right offer. And really it comes down to, I mean, the copy and the persuasion and all that sort of stuff that needs to come into it really is an afterthought with advertising. It's almost like, let's get the right offer in front of the right people at exactly the right time, and then yeah, let's look at how we can maximize the conversion rates, etc. But really, let's just start off simple and see if we can test the waters and see if this works. Because if you can get it to work for you and it works, and then obviously you can always look to improve things. But it's all about, with YouTube right now, because it's just so cheap and there's hardly any competition, you can almost go out there and not actually spend any money if you get it wrong. And I'll show you why that's the case in just a second. But I also think customer behavior has changed. I think that a few years ago, I know that I've definitely seen this myself, and I've seen this in lots of different products I've bought, is that, let's say 10 years ago, if you're going to buy a TV, for example, you would go down to your local electronic distributor, wherever it might be, or your electronic store. You'd go down there, and the salesperson would tell you all about those different TVs and which one would be best for you in your house, for example. And you're basically relying upon the salesperson to give you the information so you can make an informed decision and purchase that TV. But the power is in the salesperson's hands. They decide basically what TV, and they can influence you in terms of what TVs you're considering. So they can obviously maximize, and they give you all the benefits, and they put the negotiation skills together, and they really position a TV that they want to sell to you, because they probably might make their maximum commission. But there's an agenda with the salesperson. And that's always the case. That's fine. And I think people are aware of that. But these days, if you're going to buy a TV and make that investment of, let's say, £1,000 or $2,000, whatever it might be, where you're based in the world, at that point where you're considering what TV to buy, then you won't listen to the salesperson at all any longer. Before you even get down to the store, you know what TV you would like to buy. You've done your research, you've been on all the online magazines, and it's literally in the palm of your hand. You can do it on your phone whilst you're there in the store. But you might even not go to the store any longer. You might go to Amazon and buy it, because we trust online to be able to make purchases online, and it all works. And this is the thing, is that the consumer behavior has changed, where we used to rely upon other people to tell us what to buy. But now we're relying upon our own research on our own phones, etc. And the power's come back to the consumer, meaning the consumer's in power. And when that happens, it means that we've got to market and advertise in a completely different way, because it's not about getting in front of people and trying to sell to them. It's getting in front of the people when they're considering and they're working out who is the best business to do business with. So whatever business you have, whatever you're doing, you really need to make sure that you're getting in front of people at exactly the right time, and that's the point where they're considering buying from a service provider, and you might be one of those service providers, or a product that's in the market that serves a purpose. You've got to make sure that you get in front of those people when they're searching for it, and you've got to get in front of them with the right message as well. And that's what YouTube advertising really allows you to do, because by the time they've looked at a few products and then you know which one they're going to do, they might have whittled it down to 3 or 4 products or 3 or 4 service providers and say, I'm going to choose one of these 3 or 4. But if you're not in that running, if you're not being seen at that point, you're never going to build the business that you want to build. So you need to make sure you get in front of people at the time that they're looking for the service that you potentially provide, and that's what YouTube advertising can really help with. And likewise with YouTube, it really is one of the most incredible advertising platforms as well. It works very differently to any other type of platform, because you're getting in front of people with a video. So you need to make sure the video is created properly to fit with that particular platform. So if you're getting in front of people, you need to make sure you show the video to the right people at the right time. Of course you do, but you need to also really consider what you're going to say in that video to make those people watch the video and think, actually, hang on a second, yeah, I like the idea of that. I'm going to go back to your website to find out more. So with viewability and with YouTube, we really focus on getting in front of exactly the right people, but you can really zero in as well. Using the YouTube platform, you can really zero in on your ideal customers. So you can go by age and gender and locations, etc., by interest, by topics, by remarketing list as well. You can really zero in on exactly who you want to target. So say, for example, you wanted to target the male population in London who are between the ages of 35 and 50 and who are interested in travel. You can do that. That's no problem. So you really start to kind of really zero in on exactly who you want your adverts to be seen in, and only spend money there. But right now on YouTube, there's very little competition. There's no one out there that's really competing. And so if you get in right now, it's going to be dirt cheap to get your views and get your exposure out there as well. We're talking about 2 pence in the UK sometimes, up to about 10 pence, depending on the market you're in. But really, if you're getting in front of exactly the right people with a really good video and you're explaining your point, you've got that brand awareness, but also you've got that opportunity to get them back to your website, sometimes for free. And I'll explain that in just a moment.
So is this for all sorts of businesses then? Is this for small businesses as well? And entrepreneurs and people on their own can sort of people starting out afford to advertise on YouTube?
Anyone can well, I say anyone can afford to advertise on YouTube. It's not a difficult thing to get into. I know that when I've seen a lot of people do a lot of advertising campaigns in the past, and they start doing pay-per-click, for example, and one of my clients spends £7 per click using Google pay-per-click. So that's quite expensive, but they're happy to pay that because they know it turns a profit for them. But that's just too difficult for some startup companies. They can't afford to spend £7 a click when they don't know if their web pages are going to convert people. They don't even know if they've got a business model just yet. And that's going to cost them £700 for 100 visitors to even understand if their web page is going to work or not. So some types of advertising is very difficult. But just imagine if I could say to you, right, okay, well, yes, there's a bit of a production of the video quality, so you need to make sure you've got a good video. You can't just, I mean, it's not going to be great for your branding if you've got a horribly displayed video. You need to make sure you've got some level of quality in there, but not over the top. But then if the video is structured in the right way and you can get it out there, if you're getting, I mean, I've seen it where we've got clients like 400% conversion rates, and the reason being is because people are coming back to the website for free and they're signing up. So we're getting this no spend expense on the video ads as such, and we're already getting traffic back to the website and signing up. So some of this stuff is free, and so of course if it's free, yes, you've got the quality of the production of the video to invest in, but really it's a low barrier to entry, and you can test this stuff out very quickly. But you've got to think.
You're talking about pre-roll ads in particular, are you here?
Yeah, mainly talking about pre-roll ads here, but it works for different types of advertising, and pre-roll ads can work in numerous different ways, really. And I'll go into this in just a second, I suppose. But I mean, with YouTube advertising, it's one of those things where it's much easier to test the market very quickly, and if it's going to work for you. And I think every business owner should start thinking like more of an investor when it comes to the traffic generation and lead generation, as opposed to an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur is trying to get traffic in for free, trying to get and free traffic is not always the best, and it's hard work, and you're spending your time doing it where your time could probably be spent doing better things, really. So this is the sort of thing where, yes, there is finance involved and you need to pay for the ads, of course you do, but if you can get it to work for you, and say for example you pay $5 or £5 and you make £20 or $20, then immediately you're going to be like, okay, well, how many £5 can I spend? How many $5 can I spend, and how much of this advertising can I do, because I keep on generating sales this way. So it's really a case of looking at it in terms of an investor's point of view. Yes, there's some risk involved, of course there is, but it's managing that risk and understanding there is going to be risk, like there is any business or any venture that you might get into. But it's a case of looking at it like, what's my return on investment? If I put in X, what's Y looking like? What do I get out of this? And it's important that you focus on that.
So the big question is really, how do you get people to watch pre-roll ads? Because I'm sure most of us, when we're on YouTube, we sit there just waiting to hit that skip button, and it has to be something quite special for us to actually continue to watch the advert. So how do you go about getting people to actually watch what you've got out there?
Okay, good question. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me go through a couple of these slides, because I think we're going to get there.
Okay.
Frame it before I get there, I suppose. But with with any campaign I run with clients, I'm very focused on getting results and getting financial results and making sure that it's a good return for the client's investment. So whilst there's a lot of objectives that people could have in terms of like, okay, I'm looking to get brand awareness, I'm looking to get my name out there, that's fine, you can do that with advertising, especially on YouTube. You can get people to know you very quickly. You could be looking to influence their consideration, what we talked about earlier, like the TV scenario where you're looking to buy a TV, you should be there when they're searching for that particular TV. Or if they're if you're a company looking to grow loyalty and retention and get people to engage with you on a constant basis, again, you can do that through YouTube advertising. But what I want to focus on is driving leads and sales today, because like Ogilvy used to always say, if it doesn't sell, it's not creative, and I fully agree with that. I think that there's too many people out there, too many agencies out there that try and think of all these really creative ideas and forget the fact that you've got to have a campaign, or I believe you've got to have a campaign that gets the till ringing, that gets business and gets money in the bank. And I think that's the most important thing that I want to focus on today, is to say, here's how you do it, here's how you make sure that you run YouTube ads that get you leads, get you business, and make you a profit. So in terms of lead generation overview, let's just quickly go through this. What you're looking to do is get in front of exactly the right sort of people, so targeted traffic, and you're going to turn them into loyal customers. And there's a step-by-step formula. So you show the pre-roll ad or the video ad. We're talking about more pre-roll ads today as opposed to anything else. You get them back to your landing page, so where they come back to the first page on your website, whichever web page you wish to select. Then you make sure you nurture them, so once they've left their name and their email address with you, they're on your database, you've got to build a relationship with them. Maybe you send them a few more bits of video, maybe you give them a call, whatever it is that your business model is all about. And then at the right time, you give them that offer, and hopefully they buy from you. And if they don't buy from you, you might have some cross sales, down sales, etc. But what you're looking to do really is a very simplified model here of lead generation. You're getting people to watch your ads, come back to your website, sign up, you build a relationship with them, and then you're looking to sell them your products and services if there's a good fit, and build that relationship with them continuously. And the method of doing this is to make sure you have three things in place. And this is, if you're watching this right now, you make sure that you write this one down, because this is really important. You've got the offer, you've got the people, and you've got the time. Now, the people are the most important thing. You must make sure you're getting in front of exactly the right people. Otherwise, you're going to waste your advertising spend. So make sure you really pinpoint and say, my ideal audience look like this. My ideal audience or my perfect audience might be this age, might be this sort of demographic, located in this sort of area, interested in this. So you're starting to really form a customer avatar, or a right kind of perfect click for you, so to speak. Once you've done that, you're then saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to get my ads in front of those people, but you need to make sure that you have the right offer. So you need to make sure the wording or what you're offering to them, not necessarily the wording of the video as such, but more a case of like what the offer is. So make sure that the actual structure of the offer fits with what the customer would like. And the sales copy around that and the script of the video needs to be really positive around that as well. But then you need to make sure you get in front of those people at the right time as well. It's no point getting in front of people who are interested in TVs but just bought a TV. That's not going to be the right sort of audience you want. You want to get people in front of people that are interested in TV and need a TV still, who don't have a TV. So the timing's got to be right. You can't just get people in front of people that are interested. It's got to be people who are hot and ready to buy and are buyers as well. We always kind of like have some people that just are interested but never buy, like the tire kickers of a business, for example. But it's a case of getting in front and targeting those people that are going to buy from you. And when you can zero in on those people, life does become a lot easier and your ads will work a lot more effectively. But let's talk about the YouTube platform, because I know you're asking questions about that, Julie, and I want to get into it and so people know how to use it. So this is a typical page on YouTube, for example, and you can see here there's a few different ways of advertising. First of all, you've got the in-stream ads, which are often referred to as pre-roll ads. Those are the videos that come up before the videos we want to watch, and we have to wait for 5 seconds before we can press the skip ad button. And I'll go into those in a bit more detail in just a second. We've also got the Google Display Network. So on the top right-hand corner there, you can see an advert from Google giving a £75 offer. But you can show your ads there as well. You've also got in-search ads as well. Now, the Google Display Network, or in-display ads, and in-search ads are actually now clumped together and called in-display ads. So they're kind of formed together, but it's kind of just taking up more of the real estate, so to speak, on YouTube. And in search, you're paying to be at the top of the page. And then you've got in-display as well. So when the, or in Slate it really is, but you've got kind of like, you can have your ads coming up on the actual video itself once it's playing through. So you've probably seen those before where they pop up and they kind of give an offer at certain points. So there's 4 different ways you can potentially advertise on YouTube. The main ones really that you get used to once you're in the platform is really in-stream or in-search. In-stream or in-display, and in-stream are the pre-roll ads, which I want to focus on today.
And is there a difference in price with all those different ones generally? Is there a big difference in price?
The commercial structure is slightly different for in-display versus in-stream. In-stream, well, we'll go into in-stream in just a second and the features involved. But with in-display, you only pay as soon as someone clicks your video to watch. So you're kind of paying for the click, not for the view. And I'll clarify that in just a second. But yeah, as soon as someone watches your video from an in-search or an in-display ad, then you pay as soon as they've started pressing the play button. But it's different with pre-roll ads. So with pre-roll ads, you obviously got the first 5 seconds where you have to press, well, you're waiting to normally press the skip ad button. And I saw there's a bit of communication before we had this hangout today, Julie, that someone was saying, oh, well, 99% of the time I completely ignore the ads and I just press skip ad as soon as it comes up. I've got data to prove that's not the case with the majority of people. I tend to see there's loads and loads of people out there that do watch the ads. But the ads have to be created and targeted correctly. And this is the thing, is that there's so many TV adverts that are out there that companies just put up because they think that's going to work. That doesn't work at all. That's just good for brand awareness, but not good for getting the tills ringing, basically. Not good for a profitable campaign.
Yeah, they're very slick, though, aren't they? Those sort of ads. So how does sort of normal businesses compete on a sort of quality basis when there's such a lot of money gone into those sort of big car ads and things like that?
The way you compete is to know that your quality of your video doesn't need to be so high. You don't need to spend £1 million on creating a video ad. And it's more a case of getting your message in front of the right people. So say, for example, or put it this way, if you have a really nice holiday company, or you're kind of like a travel agent, for example, then of course I would say, look, you've got to invest in a certain level of video quality, otherwise you're going to be, otherwise it's going to look a bit odd. But really, I've seen some videos out there that are very, very simple. Just explain what the video is all about, almost like a screen flow videos, for example, like showing, like a bit like this video now, I'm showing my slides, so to speak. So some people have used those sort of videos in the past, and they get pretty good click-through rates. Pretty good people are getting good traffic volumes from these types of videos, and they're succeeding. I always balance that with what you want your brand to be seen like. So when I work with top companies, that I've got to look at kind of top quality video creation. Yeah. But not everyone has to do that. There's not a quality score that. Oh, I should be careful not to say quality score because it actually means something else. But there's not a YouTube aren't going to look at your video and say it's not good enough quality, therefore we're not going to show it. Or at least my experience hasn't been that. But you just got to be careful about how you want to brand your business. But the video quality doesn't need to be super high. It's just a case of how you structure that video that I'm going to go into.
And does it matter? Do you think you can get away with sort of lower quality if you've got a specific product that you want to sell? That you could do that in a low-key way, but if it's a service or something, then perhaps it's got to be a little bit more sophisticated, and you'd have to spend more money on that advert.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I haven't done enough testing in that area of what type of video works best, and that's normally because I go in at a level that's high quality to begin with. But I have seen where clients have given me videos, or we have created lower end or lower cost videos, still pretty good, but I mean I'm talking like sub £1,000 or sub $1,500 for a video, and we haven't really noticed a massive difference in the click-through rates. So because again, it's about targeting the right people. If you've got the right message in front of the right people, you can expect to get really good results. So yeah, I wouldn't say that you need to. If you're savvy or if you know how to create videos, you're fine. You don't need to be kind of do anything different. And you certainly don't need to go down to the studio and spend £1,000 down in the studio, for example, to try and get your video done. I would say start small, test a few things, then later on you can see if you want to upgrade your video quality based on the results. I wouldn't say that you need to start off with a real high quality video to test things. You're better off working out if you're going to get a high click-through rate, high conversion rate, and see if the platform works for you, and then look to improve. Start small, build up with proof of concept. But here's the great thing about these ads is that with pre-roll ads or in-stream ads, they're completely free until someone hits the 30-second mark. or if your video is less than 30 seconds, you'll get charged when someone reaches the end of your video. So with this in mind, if you're savvy about this, you can be really clever in the way that you create those videos, because if you know you've got a 30-second window before someone clicks through to your website, and you know it's going to be free if they click through to your website, that's how you can get a lot of free traffic coming through. So you put it this way: you're getting a really good video in front of exactly the right people, and now you're using the platform intelligently to get people to visit your webpage before the 30-second mark of that video is completed. As a result, you can be really strategic in the way that you do these ads and get a lot of success that way. But yeah, it's a pay-per-view model, so as soon as someone hits that 30-second mark, which inevitably will happen, you will get people watching past the 30-second mark, you'll end up paying YouTube and the creator of the video some cost as well. But you can, as I said earlier, you can be really advanced in your targeting. You can go by age, gender, location. You can go by their interests. I mean, Google are constantly taking more and more information from you based on what you're searching, based on what websites you visit, so they can see what you're interested in. You can target other videos, so like your competitors, if they've got videos, you can target their videos. And you can get your videos shown in front of people when they're searching particular keywords. Or you can even use remarketing lists, and that's where you get back in front of people. So if you've ever felt like stalked on the internet by someone like Amazon, if you go to a page on Amazon and you're about to buy a product and you don't buy that product, you can bet your bottom dollar that you're going to be followed around the internet for the next 2 weeks with different ads trying to get you back to that page. And that's remarketing in effect. What they're doing is they've cookied you and they're following you around. But you can do exactly the same thing with YouTube advertising as well. You can cookie all the people that watch your videos, and you can show your videos to them at a later date as well. So it's a really powerful platform. So the big question you asked earlier was, well, who does it work for? Does it work for everybody? I think it has the potential to work for everybody. You need to be clever about how you do things. But what I would always say is, like, I've got a lot more success in B2C markets. Or if you're selling to the when I say a C, I mean B2C means business to consumer or business to customer. If you're selling to the end user as such, or an end user could be a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, and a person who's in a small to medium-sized enterprise. If they're in the SME market and you're approaching small businesses, again, I've got really good success with those levels. I always find it a little bit more difficult to get in front of the big businesses easily. I've done it, and I've looked at how to do it, but we have to have a bit more of a marketing objective in terms of their brand as well, so consider that. And also, we need to be careful about how they approach different businesses as well, and how they get in front of them. I would say sometimes LinkedIn's just much more easy to get in front of those people using that strategy. But if you're selling to end users, so consumers, or if you're selling to small businesses, you must make sure that you start using YouTube advertising in your business, because it could just be the thing that turns your business from a business doing okay to a business that's driving huge profits. And it's just by identifying the strategy to get it working for your business. Good, and of course it works for local, national, international clients as well, across a range of different industries. So I've worked with many different industries. Like I've got a couple of weight loss clinics that are up in the north of the country, and they're doing very well from their local campaigns, and literally it's like a 20-mile radius around their clinic. Then I've got international people that are selling products all over the world, and people that are just selling to industries which are based, or audiences that are based in America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, South Africa maybe as well. And so it depends on where you're looking to sell your products and your services. But with the nature of the internet these days, we find that more and more people have a larger sphere of influence, and by that I mean they can have customers coming in from all over the world. So we tend to find that we get a lot of customers from all over the world for different businesses, and it works exceptionally well. So here's how to get it working. Here's the nitty-gritty. Of course, we talked about the 3 principles earlier in terms of the people, the offer, and the time as well. But if we look at the right person, I would say take a screenshot of this if you're watching this video right now. This is kind of like finding the right person, so identifying all the different kind of attributes and the attitudes of each different person. But also you want to make sure that you get in front of the right time. So think about when they're ready to buy and get in front of them then. So if they're ready to buy, that's the perfect time to get in front of them. but you sometimes want to get in front of them even earlier as well when they're potentially researching different competitors that you might have and thinking, do I go with company A or company B? And you want to make sure that you're in the selection for that. So it could be that you want to get in front of them at an earlier point as well. A classic scenario of this might be if you're a wedding photographer, for example, and you charge like $3,000 per wedding. Getting in front of those people when they're looking for a photographer may not be the most strategic move. You might be better off advertising on keywords like wedding venues, because that might be the start of their search for wedding information. And then if you get your name in front of them, then you've got the opportunity to remarket them, you've got the opportunity to get your message in front of them and arrange a meeting earlier than everybody else. So think about the buying cycle and when you want to get in front of people, and that's really important. And obviously that will influence the type of video you create as well, because if you're getting in front of people that are looking for a wedding photographer and they've got a week to go, there's a very different message there than if you're a wedding photographer and they've got 6 months to go before their wedding. You want to be aware that you need to kind of be careful about how you advertise those people to maximize your profits in your campaigns. But if you think about the offer in the video itself, it's rather like a TV advert with a call to action at the end. So yeah, we do want to make sure that the quality of the video is high enough to get by. But keep the 30-second mark in deadline in mind as well. That's when you're going to have to pay, so you don't want people to watch past the 30-second mark. Now, there's a video by Superdrug. They did some really good videos where they're selling their services, or selling their products, sorry, to different consumers, and they showed their ads just before people left work and went down, and they showed it just in the London area because there's lots of Superdrug stores all over the London area. So they showed their Superdrug advert just before people left left working to go home with all the offers they have. And as a result, with those offers they had, people were just reminded that, oh yeah, I need to get some toothpaste or some shampoo, or oh yeah, I need to get some more makeup, for example. And they got 2-for-1 offers and things at Superdrug now. So just as you see that video as you're leaving work, you'll then think, oh yeah, I'll go to Superdrug. You walk past Superdrug and you go in, and their campaign works exceptionally well for them. But they just showed their ads at a specific time when people were leaving the office, which I thought was very clever.
Yeah.
I won't show you the video because I know it's difficult to stream it as well. There's a couple of videos here. This is one of Burger King. I'll just talk about this one quickly. Burger King did one where they had videos of these two guys sitting at a table, and they were talking about different. Well, they were obviously selling the idea of the great offers they had at Burger King during that time. They just showed it in the US. They only showed it to 18 to 25-year-olds. And what they did, and the male population as well, so they knew they were getting in front of basically hungry people from the age of 18 to 25. They're the perfect market for those people. But what they did is they advertised on all the viral videos that are out at the time. So say, for example, there was I don't know, there's so many different videos out there that are funny and so many different videos that go viral, but there was like graphic animal attack videos and things. And what they'd do is you'd see these two guys sitting at the table, and as soon as you press play to watch this graphic animal kill video, so to speak, what would happen is that these two guys would be sitting at the table in Burger King about, oh, they've got to watch another pre-roll ad. All they want to watch is that graphic animal attack video, but no, they've got to sit through a video ad. And so they really played on this idea of really playing with what the viewer is already about to watch, and they get the video out in front of them instead, so it built a really good connection. It's very funny. But then said, oh, and all they got to see is this incredible deal from Burger King, and so they see this price point jump up in front of the food they've got at their table. And it's just a really clever ad. It's really kind of strategic in terms of how they got in front of the consumers with a really effective message. But if you're going to be creating a video for your company, think about the first 5 seconds. You've got to grab their attention of the viewer and make sure you grab them that they can't or they don't want to leave your video because you've just grabbed them with what we would call a pattern interrupt. So something different they weren't expecting, and by doing that you're kind of jamming their gears on what they would normally do, because I can bet you that when you watch a pre-roll ad on YouTube, you scroll down to the bottom right-hand corner and you hover over the skip ad button, just waiting to press skip ad, and you've got that 5 seconds you have to wait for. Well, as an advertiser, if you've got your video in front of those people, you need to make sure you engage them to get them past that first 5 seconds and grab their attention. 5 seconds isn't that long, of course, so you need to be really quick with it, and you need to be really creative, and that's something I work with a lot of clients on. Then you have to make sure that you have a really good offer. That's really important, and be really clear with what the offer is. It's really important. I think your offer is much more important than anything to do with the actual way you sell it. It's more in case of like, here's the best offer you can give to someone, and now let's get it in front of people. You also want to future pace the call to action, so you want to make sure that by future pacing I mean like playing out the story of what's going to happen next for your viewer that's watching your pre-roll ad. So say to them, once you click the link, you're going to go back to my website, fill in your name and email address there, and you'll have instant access. So you're already pacing them through what's going to happen next. They're going to click a link, they're going to go back to your website, fill in the name and email address, and they're going to press the submit button, and they're going to have instant access to the offer that you've got for them. So you're future pacing it, so you're telling them what's going to happen next. If you can display that graphically in the video as well, all the better. It dramatically increases conversion rates on your page when you tell people what to do next. But you want the video to last around about 15 to 20 seconds. I know you've got the 30-second mark, but you want it to last around about 15 to 20 seconds and then finish your ad. And the reason being is because we want to make sure that we don't have loads of people watching past the 30-second mark, otherwise that's going to cost you money. So you kind of want to try and finish your ad earlier or sooner rather than later. And then you kind of want to just be a little bit quieter in the video itself. You want to kind of give the good offer by that 15 to 20-second mark, and then you know that you've got that offer in front of them, and you're going to hopefully maximize the number of people that click before they have to watch another, before they have to kind of watch and go past that 30-second mark, which is going to cost you obviously. We've done a lot of videos with Andy Harrington, and I know that this is one of his videos that we've done with him. He's down the studio, he's presenting to camera, he's talking about the speakers that he's spoken with on stage, and why that why you should sign up for his free video series. And we get incredible results with Andy. Andy was used to spending around about $17 for a new lead in his business, and now he spends just $1 per lead. So for him, it's been exceptionally powerful, and it works like that in a lot of different industries. You just need to make sure you maximize the click-through rates of your video back to your website, and you maximize the conversion rates of people landing on the website and deciding to take the next action, whatever that might be, whether that be sign up for some free information, whether it be leave their contact details or get in touch with you, whatever it might be. You can track all of that using the YouTube platform. As a result, you can work out what works best and then just optimize a campaign continuously. So in terms of the results, this is one of the results from a client. As you can see here, we have just Julie, we were talking about different budgets earlier. This is just £20 per day for a particular client. You can see here that you can see the views. We've spent on the right-hand side. You can see there the graph. We've spent around about $83 or $84 or so. But we've got about 3,000 or 3,100 views or so, maybe about 3,200 reviews. We've had, out of that, we've had, in terms of website clicks, we've had over 1,000, and in terms of conversions, we've had over 200. So for 80 quid to conversions, like 200 conversions, we're looking at around about 33p per click, per conversion, or 48p per conversion, and that's typical results. That's what you can kind of expect sometimes from different campaigns. Obviously, I must say, in terms of disclaimer, these results cannot be. Well, I think you know how the disclaimer works. These results aren't kind of typical, and you've got to do this for yourself, and I can't guarantee success, etc., or anything like that. But this is the sort of thing when you get into a campaign, you really focus on how to drive sales and how to drive traffic that converts. It is about kind of like zeroing in and then filtering out those avenues that don't work so successfully, but turning up and scaling up those campaigns that do work successfully. So this is what we do with our clients. We're constantly looking at what we can do to improve and scale up their campaigns, so they're always driving a return for their investment. And so we can see here there's some of the results there. Now, it is about constant optimization, so I'd say run some test ads, don't spend a fortune, keep it simple to begin with, see what works and then scale up what does work, and if it doesn't work, turn it off basically, of course, and that's important to do, otherwise you end up wasting money. But then you can really roll it out. You can look at bigger audiences. Once you've got some success, you can look at different audiences, you can look at different avenues, you can look at different advertising options. So once you've done pre-roll ads, you could then move to in-search ads maybe, or in-display ads as well. But once you've got a campaign that's working, you can normally translate that campaign to either different nationalities as well. That's one way of doing it. Or you can actually translate that across to different types of advertising. So Facebook advertising. Once you've got a landing page that converts really well and you're making money, it's definitely worth looking at other types of advertising strategies as well. And then maybe look at SEO and look at other platforms. But to begin with, really make sure you just focus in and look at what's working. And I think that pre-roll ads are the ideal place to start because it's low cost, It's not necessarily the easiest method into entry, but or barrier into entry, because you've got to create a video. But hopefully the information I've shared with people today will give them more of an inkling of how to do it, and start progressing in their own business with their advertising, because advertising is where it's at right now, and it's important that people understand they've got to start finding a way that's going to bring them in reliable leads on a scalable way that brings in a profit and is consistent. And if it's automatic as well, all the better, which means that you can take as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you can take a step back. You know the leads are coming in every day. You can see them on your email come in, says new lead, new lead, new lead, all those emails coming in, and you can just sit there and make phone calls, or you can get a team to make those phone calls and close those sales for you. As a result, you've got a business that you can run then. You've got a business that you can scale. If you're constantly out there trying to kind of get SEO working or trying to get your social media working, that's always a real long slog and a tough slog, and it's no kind of no area that I think that is it's an easier way. The easiest way has got to be YouTube right now. There are some other easy ways as well, but in terms of if you decide to get into this and master this compared to something that's easy to get into, you're going to find you're way ahead of the field, and you've got a massive head start on people, because if you become that person that can control the leads in a particular niche or a particular marketplace, and you're in control of that, it becomes very difficult for the next person to outperform you. So I'd always say start small, build it up big, and then claim and put your stake in the ground, so to speak, and say, right, I'm in charge of the leads here from YouTube, and that's always a really exciting area to be in. But also you can combine it with your remarketing lists as well, and so you can get back in front of people that have been watching your videos previously. So how to get started and how to get involved with all of this. What I do is I tend to offer 3 different options. The first option is do it yourself. Hopefully I've given you a lot of information here. There's a lot of information out there as well there from YouTube as well. So they do give you a lot of information about how to get started. At the end of the day, they want you to spend money with them, so they try and make it as easy as possible. So there is options to go and do it yourself. It's not self-explanatory, and if you struggle, then I'm always here. Put it that way. There is an online training. So I've created an online training, but I don't want to just give the online training to anybody. I'm not interested in kind of making money from the online training. I'm more interested in giving it to the right people that can really benefit from it as well. So, but the online training literally goes through everything from start to finish about how to set everything up, the strategies behind creating videos, how to target the right people. It walks it through step by step in different modules. So you really can sit there for probably about, I'd say, a day or two, sit there, consume all the information, understand it, and then start applying it to your own business. And it's just one of those areas where I think that it's the commitment to time to sit there and do it, and then start implementing it will be the way to really understand how to take advantage of this. But then you've also got the next step up, which is what my agency does, which is where we always start with clients on a done-for-you pilot campaign. And this is where we say, look, we'll create the ads for you, we'll do everything for you. There's a small fee. Oh, I say small fee. There's a considerable fee to get started with that, but it's not going to break the bank for most businesses, and it's an easier barrier to entry, which means that people can invest in a smaller pilot campaign. I'll go away, create the ads, get in front of the right people, show the ads to those people, and I'll run those ads using my own spend. And then if I can bring back results that are really successful for you, great. We can then talk about how we move forward from there, whether it becomes a monthly fee, for example, like a maintenance fee, an optimization fee, or whether it be a cost per acquisition, which is like a no-risk area where people say, all right, well, I'll pay you a certain amount for each lead or each customer that comes in, and it's my job to go and then find out how I can get leads and then customers in for cheaper than that price. So there's 3 different options there, and I'm more than happy to talk about those in more detail and talk about anything in more detail, Julie, really. And if anyone wants to get in touch, the best way of getting in touch and telling me that if you're interested in any of this, or just to get in touch and say thanks very much for the Google Hangout, it's been great content, or hopefully, or if you've got any feedback, that'd be great as well. But my email is tom@viewability.co.uk. That'll come directly through to me. So that's tom@viewability.co.uk, and yeah, we can have a chat and take it from there, and hopefully I can get some really good success in your business.
Well, that's great. Thanks very much, Tom. And I'm really sorry I couldn't get the comments going. That is human error. But I'll try and catch up and get back to people if they've got any comments and questions afterwards, and see if I can answer them for you. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm at the video marketing community. You can find me there. And if you'd like to be on a video marketing show like this, if you've got some information that might be useful to the video marketing community as a whole, just get in touch and I'd love to speak to you. So thanks very much, Tom, for all that information. I'm sure it's going to be really useful. And thank you, everybody. Okay?
Good stuff, Julie. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye then.
Cheers then. Bye.